All right, good evening, everyone. Today is Monday, May 6, 2024. I'll now call the City Council regular meeting to order at 6:44 p.m. Item number 2, a roll call, and we do have a quorum of council. Item number 3 are our pledge. Today we have the pleasure of having Trail Life Troop 11 to come up and say our pledge. 1-1.
Color guard. Attention. Color guard. Forward. March. Left. Right. Left. Right. Left. Right. Left. Right. Left. 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 Right. Left. Right. Left. 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 Right. Left. Right. Left. Right. Left. Right, left, right, left, right. Troop, hold. Color guard, left, face. Present, arms. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2. Color guard. Left. Face. Color guard. Return to post. Left. Right. Left. Right. Left. Right. Left. Right. Left. Right. Left. Right.
So I just want to make a notice. They were here for our pledge when we had the National Prayer Day, and I just found out that they're all siblings. They're all yes.
And guys, I think there's 6 more.
Yeah, there's 6 more.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's 10 of them. So
yeah. So I want to thank Councilmember Riley for coordinating for them to come. Y'all are welcome at any time to come out here. So next time, come all 10 of you, right? All right. Thank you all. All right, we're going to go ahead with our presentations and recognition. We're going to go ahead and start off with 4A. It's a proclamation for Hurricane Preparedness Week. We have a presentation by Councilmember Jeffrey L. Boney.
Mayor, before we do that, I'd like to move item 4E before 4A, if we could. They're all downstairs. Oh, they're all downstairs? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. You tried to? Okay, well, never mind. Let's go, Mayor. Let's go. I'll go. How's everybody doing this evening? Oh, we got a packed house. Y'all excited to hear about Hurricane Preparedness Month, I see. All right. Well, I'm here to deliver that information just for you. We have a proclamation. This is a very, very important season. Many of us remember how the city of Missouri City was impacted during Hurricane Harvey. Many parts of our city were impacted by the rainwaters. We had a more than 100-year flood that took place, but also there was a major tornado that hit off of Texas Parkway and ruined a lot of our commercial properties and homes in the area. So this is a very, very important season, and we cannot emphasize this enough, how important this is. And what I'd like to do is turn the mic over to Ms. Tramika Jewett, who is our emergency coordinator.
Good evening, everyone. As mentioned, this is Hurricane Preparedness Week. So the city will be doing a lot to ensure that not only are we prepared for the upcoming hurricane season, but to help citizens become prepared also. Remember, we're about a month out before what's predicted as an extremely active season, so it's still time to prepare. We are also hosting an event this Saturday at our community center right next door from 10 a.m. to noon for a Hurricane Preparedness Expo. We will have some speakers for you guys, and we'll have some door prizes and handouts to help you guys better prepare for yourself and your families. So please look out on our social media this week. We will be posting tips every day this week to help you guys also prepare for this upcoming hurricane season. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Did you all want to share anything? All right. Well, we really appreciate here in City of Missouri City, Ms. Tramika Jewett as our emergency manager coordinator. Let's give her a round of applause. She does an amazing job along with everyone that's a part of our team. But let me go ahead and read this proclamation. Whereas hurricane season officially begins June 1st and ends November the 30th, and whereas the National Weather Service and the Texas Division of Emergency Management have designated the week of May the 5th through May the 11th, 2024 as Hurricane Preparedness Week in Texas. And whereas the threat of life and the year-by-year increasing property damage from the destructive forces of hurricane and coastal flooding can be reduced dramatically by careful planning and timely implementation of emergency response and evacuation plans. And whereas the best defense is preparedness and public education about the dangers of the high winds, storm surge, flooding, and tornadoes that could occur in conjunction with a hurricane or tropical storm. Now, therefore, I, Jeffrey L. Boney, on behalf of Mayor Robin J. Allicat and the City Council and the citizens of Missouri City, do hereby proclaim May 5th through May the 11th, 2024 as Hurricane Preparedness Week in the City of Missouri City, Texas, and urge all citizens to participate in hurricane preparedness activities and to pay close attention to any warning instructions. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 4B, our proclamation for Municipal Clerk Week. We have it to be presented by Councilmember Monica Riley.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, I have the honor and pleasure of presenting this to our city secretary and her team. If you guys are here, come on up. Our city secretary has been with us a little over a year, and she has truly built a dynamic team in the city secretary's office. I'm going to let her say a few words and introduce her team, and then I'll read this proclamation.
Thank you very much. So I've actually been with the city for 2.5 years, and it's been a great journey for me to be here and serving the great citizens of Missouri City. This is Jarrell Horace. Jarrell is the Deputy City Secretary, and he is born and raised Missouri City Eagle. Don Lee is our Community Engagement Coordinator, and Don has just been with us barely a month. Then we have Terry Vinson. Terry is our records analyst, and she has been with us for a little over 2.5 years, just before I got here, and she does a wonderful job in our city. And then we have Miss Tina Brock. Tina is our office manager, and Tina has been with us for a little over a year. She keeps us all in order and keeps us going. I do want to just let you all know that May is National Preservation Month, and I encourage you all to check out our video that our great communications team just posted today, encouraging you all, if you have any historical artifacts or photographs or images that you would like to submit to the city, submit them to us, and you have a chance to be a part of Missouri City history. Thank you.
All right, that was perfect. I'm going to have y'all come over here. Don't y'all be scared. I'm not going to bite. I did eat earlier. All right, I'm going to read this proclamation. Whereas the office of the professional municipal clerk is the oldest, not the dinosaurs, but the oldest among public servants. And whereas the municipal clerks provide a multitude of services to their community and local government, including conducting elections, reading, recording, and preserving records, providing information and services to the citizens, and codifying legislative activities of the governing body. And whereas the municipal clerks continue their participation in education, programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their local, state, county, and international professional organizations. And whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the office of the professional municipal clerk. Now, therefore, I, Councilwoman Monica Riley, on behalf of our mayor, Robin J. Ellicat, on behalf of the City Council and the citizens citizens of Missouri City do hereby proclaim May 5th through May 11th, 2024 as Municipal Clerks Week in the city of Missouri City. Congratulations.
If I can just say one other thing, these wonderful accomplishments that our department and our team has been able to accomplish has been only with the support of the mayor and council. So I thank you all very much for your support of our team and all of our efforts. Thank you.
Thanks for
Absolutely.
Hazard pay. Good,
all right. All right, thank you. Item 4C, our National Police Week. It'll be presented by Mayor Pro Tem Klauser and Councilmember Emery.
Let's give our officers a round of applause. And this is just a fraction. Come on over here, Elias. This is just a fraction of our dynamic police force here in Missouri City, and we are joined by our police chief, Brandon Harris. Did you want to say a few words, Councilmember Emery?
Well, yeah, what I want to say is, while we're recognizing this as National Police Week, I think really it should be National Police Year. These folks have given us everything they have for the full year, and while we recognize this week, I think we all should recognize the effort in keeping us safe. So let's start a new trend, and we'll call it National Police Year. Yeah. Thank you.
I agree. So this proclamation is presented to our police officers, and I do want to take a point of privilege in recognizing that this is the very first police agency in the state of Texas to become a certified autism agency. So let's give that up for them. So during National Police Week, this proclamation reads, whereas police officers of the Missouri City Police Department stand watch over our citizens, selflessly risking their lives to protect individuals, families, neighborhoods, and property against crime. And whereas it is important that all citizens recognize the duties, responsibilities, hazards, and sacrifices of our local law enforcement agencies. And whereas May 12th through May 18th, 2024 is observed as National Police Week in honor of those law enforcement officers who, through their courageous deeds, have made the ultimate sacrifice and service to their community or have become disabled in the performance of duty. And whereas the Missouri City Police Department, past and present, who, by their faithful and loyal dedication to their responsibilities, have rendered dedicated service to our community. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Pro Tem Lynn Klauser, on behalf of Mayor Robin J. Ellicott and the entire City Council and residents of Missouri City, do hereby proclaim May 12th through May 18th as National Police Week and publicly salute the service of law enforcement officers in our community, in our community across the nation. I almost got through it without stumbling. So thank you. Let's give it up to our law enforcement.
All right, thank you. Thank you, guys. Item 4D is also another proclamation. It is for National Public Service Week, and that will be presented by Councilmember Sonia Brown Marshall.
Thank you, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing? I see a lot of our staff members are here. So in honor of Public Service Recognition Week, here they come. Thank you for joining us. We have the Human Resources Department here with us. And the sole purpose of this recognition is to honor people who serve our national, federal, state, county, and local, including tribal government employees. That's a lot of employees that service all of us here. The White House this week provided their proclamation, and on tonight I get the opportunity to provide our proclamation to our over 430 plus City of Missouri City employees. So if you are a City of Missouri City employee, would you please stand where you are? Woo! Beautiful. So thank you so much, Ms. Jones, for joining us here on tonight. So I'm going to read this over to you guys, okay? Whereas Public Service Recognition Week has been celebrated the first week of May since 1985 to honor the public employees who embody the spirit of service. And whereas the City of Missouri City is committed to exhibiting the highest standards of professional excellence, creativity, skill, and customer service. And whereas Public Service Recognition Week provides an opportunity for us to express our gratitude and appreciation for the invaluable contribution of public servants at all levels of government and in various sectors of public service. And whereas by recognizing and celebrating Public Service Recognition Week, we affirm our collective commitment to supporting and empowering our public servants to continue their vital work of making our city, state, and nation stronger, more resilient, and more inclusive. Now, therefore, I, Sonia Brown Marshall, on behalf of Mayor Robin J. Allicat, and on behalf of the City Council and the citizens of Missouri City, do hereby proclaim May 5 through May 11, 2024 as Public Service Recognition Week, and urge all residents to join in honoring and thanking our dedicated public servants for their invaluable contributions to our community and society as a whole. And then Angel, you come here. Okay. Perfect. Thank y'all. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Item 4E, our presentation, Key to the City for Anais Smith, will be presented by Councilmember Anthony Maroulos and myself.
While we wait for Anais to join us, for those cowboy fans in the audience, y'all beware, warning, fly, Eagles, fly. Come on up, Anais. They're all downstairs because it's so packed up here. Hello? It's on? Oh. I heard a cowboy fan just say something.
Yes, the cowboy fans. We are making noise.
So fun fact.
Houston, Texas.
Fun fact, Maury Smith is the father of Anais Smith, and he's actually a Cowboy fan. So house divided goes to a whole different level. Thank y'all for being patient. Throw a ball, man. I got it. There we go. So first I'll have Anais come up, and then I'll have his parents join us in a little bit. Thank you, Anais. So tonight is a bigger night than the NFL draft. You will be receiving the key to the city, to the Show Me City, to your city, right? And I know Councilmember Emery's been here for like 13 years, and the poor guy doesn't have a key to the building, let alone the city. But in all seriousness, it's a big night for you, for your family, for the city, for me, the mayor, and the entire council. I personally know how proud you are to live in this city. When you were in College Station playing football, you made sure your name was Anais Smith, Missouri City, on the big board. Right? I remember that. And that's how proud he is of being here. Residents, Anais Smith on the field has broken many, many records. He is the only SEC player to ever hit 2,000 yards receiving, 250 yards rushing, 250 yards in kick returns. His record speaks for itself, and that is why he's known as Sub-Zero on and off the field. Right? I did a little homework, man. Off the field, he's been super active in his community. He loves giving back to the community. Double Dave's here in Missouri City actually provided him the opportunity to create his own Sub-Zero pizza, so that's here locally. He was our grand marshal in our Snowfest parade, threw out a lot of footballs to the kids, and got a lot of recognition. He and his family were our special guests at the Christmas tree lighting. What a great event that was. In the summertime, his father, himself, his brother, they hold a camp at a great church here in Missouri City called the Freedom Center. And they teach kids physical conditioning and spiritual conditioning, which I really, truly appreciate. Just last week, he and his brother went to Dulles to go back and see where they started, to visit the coaches, to visit the kids, to visit everyone there. And I see some Viking fans back there. Go Vikings. So thank you so much, Anais, for being involved in your city, coming back to your city, and showing how hard work pays off. At this point, I want to invite the parents, Miss Samira, Mr. Smith, and little Mo. Come on up, brother. Anais Smith comes from a great family, and I kind of put it in a few words: faith, family, friends, and football. That's what you guys stand for. And so their parents are amazing parents. Not only have they done a great job raising their kids, but they also take in kids. They also teach kids at their camp about life, about spirit, soul, heart, hardworking, and the man up above. So let's take a moment to thank the parents, please. At this time, I want to ask the mayor to come and be a part of this. Anais, we're very proud of you. Go out and be humble. Go out there and work hard. Go out there, keep your faith, represent our city. Mayor, you know it gets cold in Philadelphia, but I would say you probably should call their mayor and tell them it's about to get really chilly in Philly, because Sub-Zero is on the way.
All right, before we go any further, we're going to have a quick video. So if those of you in the back can look at that screen, and if you're up here, look up here. That's why I dimmed the light a little bit. Ready? You guys can turn around and watch this too. You have it on the side screen as well.
What are you doing, man? You ready to get picked?
Man, yeah, come on, man.
Come on, let's go. We're excited to get you here, man. We're going to take you with this pick. Get ready to come back to Philly, man. We'll walk around that field a couple more times. How about that, brother?
Come on, it's good.
Yeah, you're an Eagle. All right, I'll put you on the phone with Coach Sirianni. We're putting it in.
I'm looking forward to getting a chance to coach you.
No, for sure, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, good, man. You waited long enough right there. You're a hell of a player.
Appreciate you.
With the 152nd pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Ainias Smith, wide receiver from Texas A&M University.
Ainias coming near side. Ainias Smith needs to midfield, cuts it back. This one may go to the house. Ain't nobody gonna catch Ainias Smith. Breaking one tackle and racing down the sideline, trucking defenders inside the 40. Second and 11, they do throw a deep ball to an open man. Caught! Smith inside the 5-yard line.
So, before we start, I would want to ask my colleagues to come down, please, and take those jackets off because we want to show some birds. Come on, let's take those jackets off. Come on. So, as about probably in last year, Councilmember Marulis had mentioned that we have a great kid that's in our community that went to high school here, and they still live in Missouri City, and wanted to see that if we would think of him to be the Grand Marshal of our Snowfest Parade just this December. And I said, sure. And up until that time, I haven't met Ainias, but Anthony said, well, you know what? It's a great family. You got to love their story. And as more time and time, I've started looking into and watching the clips and seeing who they were and what he has done for this community and for especially for all the Aggies. And I am just so proud that he decided to come out here. Not only that, he had a surgery done on your hand, and he was so nice enough to still join us, and with his left hand, pass out all the footballs out to our kids. We do this in Missouri City because Missouri City has a lot of talent that's out there. We haven't recognized some of those in the past. And let me apologize for that. I just got here. Councilmember Boney and I made a point, PAC, last week that moving forward, we're going to recognize every sports stars that we have in our city because they do matter to our community. And about 2 weeks ago, and it's on April 15th, that with the 152 pick, that Philadelphia Eagles decided to get him on his roster. And I told him 199 pick in 2000 was Tom Brady. And he's got 7 Super Bowls, and he's the GOAT, right? So Ainias Smith, and we know how fast, you saw one of those videos that nobody can catch him, right? And I don't ever doubt that I've never talked about my family on city council, but so many kids from Missouri City, so many schools. Stephanie Brown, you know what I'm talking about. There's so many that went out to different practices and meets. And I told my daughter that she runs a track, and I said, I'm going to be giving out the key to the city if you can come out today. And she does have therapy because she had an injury. But she told me to let Ainias know that she's at 15.2 seconds on 100 meters, and she'll race him. And that's through hurdles, right? So we have a lot of talent here. And with this key, we wanted to give you this key to signify, on behalf of our citizens, on behalf of our city council, our staff, we're so proud of you. We're so proud of what you have done. And the night that he got drafted, I made a call to him and let him know that, you know what? I haven't yet got an opportunity to do so. We have another player, as was the 52 pick, which is Adonai Mitchell, that's also will be coming back to City Council to be officially recognized. So we have two people that have gone to Indianapolis Colts and to the Eagles. So we're very proud of what our community has done, what has transpired in our community. But I want to leave you with one thought. City Council is not the superheroes to people. It's you. This is who the kids in the audience look up to. You have become the superhero. Only thing I would ask is when you have done the work, when you have made it to the highest level, please do come back to the community that raised you up. Some of us on council may not be here, but there will be people here that will know your story and put a mark in it. With this key, that's a resemblance of you are always, always, always welcome in Missouri City. And wherever that lands, when you sit down, when the career is over, and you look up, all the media, all the publicity will be gone, but Missouri City will be right here for you. Congratulations. So we have a key that has Missouri City. I don't know what it opens, but it says presented to Anaya Smith from Robin Ellicott, City of Missouri City, Texas, on March 6, 2024. And I wanted to let you know that this is not just only from me. This is from our city council. This is from our staff. This is on behalf of our citizens. Because you made it, others could look at you as an example, and hoping that if anyone else is working towards hard on this, we will have a key ready for you. So with that, congratulations, my brother. Say something.
Is this on? This on? Oh, y'all can hear me? Okay, cool. All right, so honestly, I'm a little lost of words. This is pretty crazy, but one thing that I can say, I appreciate everybody that came out here. I honestly just want to thank God for the opportunity that he's given me to do the things that I'm doing right now, and also just to be able to serve my community, being able to just be a blessing, be an example to other people. My pops has always taught me to be a leader, and understand who you are and what your purpose is. And I feel like I'm starting to truly understand what that means. And I'm just truly honored and blessed to be in this situation, to be up here in front of everybody. I want to thank the whole council, the whole Missouri City, everybody that is working for the city, whether that's the police officers, the fire department, everything that goes into the city, man. I feel like this is the best city to live in, especially in Houston and anywhere, so man, I'm just thankful. I'm just blessed. I'm honestly at loss of words, and I know I'm not supposed to say the C word, but I'm not I don't even know what to say, man. I appreciate everybody for showing up. I love everybody that's here. Even the people that I haven't seen in a good little minute, it don't even matter. You know what I'm saying? We didn't made it. You know what I'm saying? We didn't made it for sure. So I thank y'all and go Mo City for sure. Oh, and one more thing. Fly, Eagles, fly.
You know, I'm at a loss of words as well, but I do want to thank everybody that's here. So many family and friends that have supported over the years and, you know, that are here that knew us before he was born, and they knew the sacrifices that have been made for my children, you know, to be able to be successful. And it's not unlike any sacrifice that any other parent makes. And I don't feel as though we're special in that regard. But I do know and I believe that the work that we do is kingdom building work. I do believe that what we do is pouring into the community and to the children. You know, we always say pay it forward, and this time I believe God just kind of paid us back, you know. So I do want to say to everybody, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. You know, we don't do things to be platformed in front of people. We do that work silently behind closed doors and just, you know, hoping that God is pleased at the end of the day. But our family is truly grateful for this moment. We thank you for this. Thank you for honoring my sons both, because this one was the first to break open the doors and play in the NFL and made so many sacrifices. And that's a blessing, but to be able to say two is unheard of. So I'm very grateful. Thank you for this moment to everybody.
Thank you. All right, real quickly, we have another gift for Mr. Anais, and we appreciate him and his family for all that they do for the city. We have a signed football for Anais that's about to be thrown by Councilmember Maroulis. It's signed by all of our appointed officials as well as all of our council members and the mayor. And I just want everybody to know, if I was about 30 years younger and Mayor Allicat and Councilmember Emery about 2 feet taller, we would have been the 153rd, the 154th, and 155th picks, respectively. Congratulations, man.
All right. Well, thank you all. Thank you for coming, and good luck to your season. And I wish you nothing but the best. And we're all rooting for you. We're all praying for you to have a healthy season. And anytime you come back to Missouri City, you know this, that even if none of us are here, that key still opens some door. I don't know which one. All right? Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
All right, so just for the time being, we are going to go ahead and take a 5-minute recess, as I know that family and friends who are here want to come up here to take a picture with him, so you're more than welcome. So we will take a 5-minute recess if there's no objection from the City Council. All right, thank you. All right. We'll go back to, can we just pull that? Can? Okay, we'll go ahead and start with public comments. City Secretary, go ahead with public comments.
Bruce Zambrowski. Bruce Zambrowski. I'll call the next on 3. Megan Hayes, Rodrigo Cameron, Nicholas Sire. Ms. Hayes, please adhere to the 3-minute time limit and state your name and address for the record. Thank you.
My name is Megan Hayes. My address is 3310 La Costa Road in Missouri City. Good evening, Mayor and Council members. I am here as a last-ditch effort to ask for help with a dangerous situation that my son and I have been dealing with since he started 5th grade at Quail Valley Elementary in August of 2023. We live roughly half a mile from the school, so decided to walk to school each day to spend time talking, connecting, and to be active. We did not know it would be such a risky decision. Roughly once a week, while we are in the crosswalk with a walk signal, we are almost hit by a car turning left off of Quail Village Drive onto Cartwright Road. Once, it was even a marked school district vehicle. If the people turning left in their vehicles toward the crosswalk follow the law and stop for us, it is common for the people behind them to honk and yell at them to go. There was even a man in a large white truck who rolled his window down to yell at us that we should get out of the road because he had a green light and the right of way. We have been flipped off, honked at, yelled at, and almost hit so many times we have lost count. Keep in mind that we always push the pedestrian button and wait for the walk signal before we step out into the crosswalk on Cartwright Road. I have talked to Public Works, Missouri City Police, and the school district about this consistently since August, and the situation remains scary and dangerous. There have been times when my son and I have discussed just having him ride the bus because of our terrible experience, but we love our time walking and talking together, and we want to continue to be active. We both just wish that being active didn't also mean putting our lives on the line. I have had to continually remind him that when someone gets in a vehicle, it does not suddenly make them more important than us just because we are walking. I have always been someone that loves to walk. I have lived in 6 different states and have never before experienced a place where vehicles are given a green light to cross a crosswalk at the same time a walk signal is active, especially during school start times and so close to an elementary school. I was actually shocked the first time we ventured over Cartwright on the way to Quail Valley Elementary and had to navigate oncoming vehicles. And therein lies your simple fix. Program the light at Cartwright and Quail Village Drive to turn green for vehicles on Quail Village Drive after the walk signal to cross Cartwright is over. The cars waiting to turn left would have to wait a mere 15 seconds more, 15 seconds that could save lives, that could save my life and the life of my 11-year-old son. This last week, when we stepped into the crosswalk a little earlier in the morning than normal, there was no one waiting at the light to turn left toward us. However, a few seconds into our crossing, a mother who had just dropped off her own child came careening around the corner, not even looking to see if anyone was in the crosswalk. She slammed on her brakes, her tires loudly screeched on the pavement, and she swerved and barely missed us. I saw the pure panic in her eyes. Because she saw a green light as she approached the traffic signal, she did not even think someone would be in the crosswalk. 1 inch further, and I might not be here right now. 1 inch further, and I could be in a hospital or burying my son.
That concludes public comments, ma'am. Here,
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager, before we move on to the next one, can we make sure to look into this, the traffic with GIS and with the Public Works and see what we can do?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Kristen.
Rodrigo Cameron. Nicholas Sear, you will be next.
Good evening. My name is Rodrigo Carrion, 1122 Avenue C in Fresno, and I come to speak really concerning item 7D, which the city wants to expand the wastewater, but what I'm concerned about our federal waters. Mustang Bayou, which comes to my community, Fresno, it's been the cleanest bayou in the whole county compared to other bayous are the dirtiest. Clear Creek, Oyster Creek, and Brazos River. Why? Because of wastewater treatment plant. Missouri City and other cities need to take legal action to protect and respect our federal waters. Like MUD 23, they created their own drainage, so their wastewater system does not go into federal waters. It's just staying there and it drains out, dries out nice and cleanly. And also concerned about more developing. Our cities need to slow down developing into a state funds correctly our school districts. Our school districts are in debt problem. Why? Because they're not being funded correctly by the state. And why? Because we're over developing, so sending more kids and students to our schools. More kids, students, that costs more to our school district. So developing is another big issue. Another big issue concern, the new street, Missouri City is constructing a new exit off of 521, which is on the south side of Sienna Point. It's coming into 521, which is a 2-lane road. And the city needs to slow down, make sure our FM 521 is expanded fully into a 5-lane road to handle traffic. But right now, more traffic in our 2-lane road is affecting Arcola and my residents of Fresno, which we're on a 2-lane road. It's high traffic right now, bumper to bumper, and dangerous. Dangerous for all our residents, my residents, and other residents. Because what? More developing. And what? More big traffic, trucks and all that going slowly, and affecting my new communities over there, like Glenna Lakes and others, Mud 141. So we need to slow down until these roads are taken care of and done by our county and the state. So we need to push them. And Mustang Bayou, especially, need to push and work with Alvin. Look, it's only like 4 feet deep. If you go across Highway 6, Mustang Bayou goes across Highway 6, and Alvin, it's only like 4 or 5 feet deep. It's not that deep. So what? It needs work to be done to handle more floods, rain floods from that affect Missouri City, Fresno, and other areas going south. That's where all the water goes through. So I need to look into it and go visit to see what I mean and to understand what it takes to improve our bayous one way or another, prohibit future floods, and don't put more residents in danger areas like right there off 2234, the oil wells. Oh, I see developing and all that new dirt, but what? You can still smell all that gas and oil hanging around while they're
that
trying to cover up.
That is time. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. That's good enough.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. My name is Nicholas Sire. I am a registered voter in Missouri City, Texas, and I'm here representing myself. I filed a copy of this speech, including my handouts, with the City Secretary's office tonight. City Council held a closed executive session on April 15, 2024, under item 5A on the agenda. The City described 5A as deliberations concerning the evaluation and duties of and complaints against a public officer or employee. Receive an Ethics Commission's determination/recommendation report concerning ethics complaint number 24-01. The city also recorded that meeting and is publicly posted online. Respectfully, I have information to share with City Council and those in attendance tonight. I encourage public debate whether an independent investigation is warranted and whether this is what corruption looks like. I don't use that word lightly, and I believe that one or more members of City Council and the city's attorney office should recuse themselves from such debate. While I do not have a copy of ethics complaint number 24-01 on hand, I am aware that it involves the City Council regular meeting on January 2nd, 2024. Again, the city recorded a video of that meeting and it's publicly posted online. At minute marker 3.08 is when the alleged incident occurred. For those who may not know, the Ethics Commission of the city consists of 7 commissioners. The commissioners received that complaint at a meeting that was public on Thursday, March 7th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. right here in City Hall. The commissioners formally voted and approved a determination hearing to be held 2 weeks later, specifically on Thursday, March 28, 2024. As a result of that determination date being set, it set in motion for the plaintiff and defendant to publicly present their evidence here in City Hall on March 28th, which was 2 weeks later. Several critical facts emerged 2 days later on March 28th. The city held a citywide HOA meeting at the Community Center for the city on March 26th. And at that meeting, it was disclosed on the third last slide that there were 5 ethics commissioners who exited their role between March 7th and March 26th. I realize that the Ethics Commission is set up where there could be 4 alternative commissioner members, but those positions were never filled by City Council. I have questions. Does that mean the Ethics Commission never met on March 28th because they did not have a quorum to hear the plaintiff and defendant's evidence? Did those 5 ethics commissioners opt to resign to stay in the defendant's good graces and never make a determination ruling for or against the plaintiff? What determination recommendation report did City Council review in a closed session on April 15th if the Ethics Commission never voted on it? I realize that later on there's one of the commissioners who resigned, and she applied to the Parks Foundation at a City Council regular meeting on April 15, 2024. I think it's important to know.
Mr. Sire, that concludes the public comments.
Thank you.
Osage Cumberland, Bob David, Demishi A.
Good evening. Osgood Cumberland, 4511 Creek Point Lane. Good evening, everybody, again.
Yeah.
Good evening to you. First of all, I would like to address that we've been coming here for a while. Me and my husband coming here and zoning meetings, including over a year. We're trying to follow up and keep up with everything, what happened in our city, what can be part of it, how can we support you guys. However, till the last battle we have, I would call battle because it was very stressful and long for us, day and night, rezoning by the Knights Road, I realized all the communities that we were reaching and talking and all the posting next door or our petition, everybody started reaching out to me in different communities and different people. I don't know these people. I never really in any interaction. And they were highly talking about that, how wonderful things that I am doing, and they were thanking me for being there and educating them, and I was very confused. All I was doing is just highlighting what's happening in Knights Road and telling them, hey, this can affect this, these are the pros, these are the cons for our city. That's all I did, nothing different. And what actually brought it to my conclusion that as a city, we meet in here. Everybody who has the opportunity to come here, talk like I do in 3 minutes, or we have you post everything online, like gentleman before me mentioned it, you can go online, watch the videos. However, not everybody even aware of that. So I wanted to come tonight and bring it to your attention. It has to be better communication with you guys, with the city leadership and the community residents, that how can they follow up with it? Yeah, it can be some magazines, it can be, you post it everywhere, but if I'm getting over 50 congratulations, thank you for this kind of messages as an individual, just for a couple posts and telling them what's going on in Knights Road, it should be easier that whatever, all the good stuff we share in here, right? Everybody's supposed to hear that. I just want you to consider, maybe it has to be other ways that we can reach out to residents and discuss what's happening here, announce what's your decisions, what's the facts, why you made that decisions, what's the future vision. That will be more interested to everybody. This is what I witnessed a couple of weeks ago, and I wanted to share with you guys and bring it to your attention. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm so elated. Bob David, 4511 Creek Point Lane. I'm going to start with E. Joyce, Councilman Boney, Mr. Emery, Lynn Clauser, Mayor Morales. Yes, Morales. Ms. Brown Marshall, Ms. Riley, our city manager, Ms. Jones, Ms. Roan, and the staff. I just want to say thank you guys for allowing us to do this. You know, it's you know, what we're fighting for has been pulled, right? And I'm grateful. It's a burden off of our shoulders. I'm really elated, and I just want to express that to you guys. That's why I'm here. It's not on the agenda, obviously, but I just wanted to show up today, as we've been showing up, and just thank you guys for allowing us to speak, right? And whether you had the opportunity to vote against it or, you know, vote for it, it doesn't matter at this point. It's been pulled. Obviously, we're concerned about what's going to happen there on that piece of land. And obviously, we want to do everything we can to be a part of that comprehensive plan so we can put it together that will kind of protect it in such a way, right? And so, yes, we do want to be a part of that comprehensive plan. Again, I've submitted my application for the P&Z. I hope you guys take it in high consideration. I do want to serve here, not just for this area, but for all of Missouri City. But again, I just want to leave here saying thank you guys for allowing us to speak our voices and, you know, being heard. One last consideration. I know Watts Plantation is coming up. That's something that you guys obviously have, it seems, green-lighted. I'm okay with it. I'm just saying that if any concessions can be done for our area there, trying to curtail any crime or any, you know, things that, because of the heightened traffic, we would gratefully appreciate that. Any consideration there. Thank you, guys.
Hello, City Council members. I wanted to take the time, just as Bob and Özge have done, to thank you guys regarding the recent events with the Palace Event Center. We're thrilled with the outcome, and we can sleep easier at night. The one thing that experience highlighted was what we feel as the community, the need to update the comprehensive plan. When we looked to the plan for guidance, we found it to be outdated. Much of the growth that will happen in the next few years and decades seem to be outside the scope of our current comprehensive plan and anything residents that do know how to navigate the website and read those kind of things can find. We would like to encourage the city to update this comprehensive plan and form a citizens committee to input into the plan. I know me and many other residents, we love the city just as Anaya Smith loved to see more and more talent being recognized. We love the city. We want to input back into the city. We have ideas, we have thoughts, we have talents, things that you can leverage. Missouri City has been growing rapidly and will continue to do so in the coming decades, likely exponentially. And we'd love to have a visionary plan to inspire and excite residents as to what's coming in the city, as well as hear from the people and what they want to see more of in the city. When we had some of our Reach Scouts, as Özge said, we were actually really surprised to hear some of the like-minded individuals, people who honestly love some of the wildlife presence and the different things that they wanted to see with the city. So one of the things I wanted to just encourage y'all to remember is you have a lot of talented residents, both that are good at sports and good at other things. And we want to support and work with you guys to help build this vision. So let us know how we can help, and let's do it together. On another more exciting note, I have a minute. We're working with many orgs on the county, state, and federal level to try and purchase the land near Knight Road and try and conserve and protect it for the wetlands in all of Missouri City. We found a mountain of support from our community with well over 1,000 signatures on our petition. Personal messages, as again, some of my neighbors have stated, from high school kids, youths encourage us to keep going, which was so funny to get encouraged from high school kids that, hey, you need to help and continue to fight. I was thinking they played video games and didn't care so much about these things, but they do. And we're going to be fundraising within our community, working with NGOs, government orgs to support creating something lovely for us all to enjoy. We've documented over 40-plus bird species, including our very own Mo City bald eagle, aside from Anaya Smith. And we want to make sure that we can speak to these things and have something beautiful for the city to enjoy. And, the kids can continue to grow up the same special way I did and have that outdoors component to enjoy, as well as top-tier educational facilities, sports facilities, et cetera. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dharma A. Amjad Kokar. Al Townsend.
Hi, good evening. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak. And I'm also very happy and very relieved that proposed development was withdrawn and our area is not considering for rezoning at this time. But this very bad and stressful experience made me realize I need to really get involved, be engaged, and find out what's happening in our area. So I would like to know from the City Council what are the plans in our area, short-term, long-term, so we don't have to be reactive and be stressful. So also, I think it's a good idea for the City Council to be engaged. We have an open dialogue with the citizens, especially who are being affected by the developments, so that probably will give us to the win-win situations we are looking at. So anyway, that's all. I really thank you all. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
My name is Amjad Kokar from 66 Big Trail. Honorable Mayor and council members, I'm happy to see all of you becoming familiar faces, and I'm privileged to having started to meet some of you outside of this setting. as you know, I come before you again representing the nearly 1,000 signers of our Missouri City Gaza ceasefire petition. Christopher Columbus enslaved the Taino Indians on the island of Hispaniola. When they revolted, he killed them and paraded their dismembered bodies through the streets, eventually eliminating the 250,000 population. Where was the moral leadership to call for an end to this oppression and violation of human rights? In 1919 Arkansas, subjugated black sharecroppers tried to negotiate better working conditions with white plantation owners. The Arkansas Gazette reports the governor summoned U.S. troops who killed hundreds of African Americans, committing, quote, one murder after another with all the calm deliberation in the world, too heartless to realize the enormity of their crimes. Where was the moral leadership to call for an end to this oppression and violation of human rights? In 1900 South Africa, the government started cracking down and arresting ANC protesters. Facing an end to his movement for racial equality, Nelson Mandela asked his supporters to arm themselves. He was arrested and thrown in prison for 3 decades. Where was the moral leadership to call for an end to suppression and violation of human rights? Today, a military siege prevents food and health care from entering Gaza, resulting in a humanitarian crisis where children now die from starvation and disease if spared from bombing. Here is the moral leadership to call for an end to oppression and violation of human rights. I implore you to revisit and reconsider our Gaza ceasefire resolution, calling for a permanent end to hostilities and a return of all hostages. Thank you.
Thank you. I am Al Townsend, 1918 McKenzie Way here in Missouri City. Johnny Jenkins, our liaison with the city, was going to come. He wasn't able to, and he asked me to come out and speak on 2 issues related to our community, Glen Park. For about a month now, there's been a white car parked at Glen Park and McKenzie Way. And it is covering the crosswalk, so persons going across have to actually go off of the sidewalk area to get by to the other side. He has spoken to the police department, and he's spoken to code enforcement about this, according to his messaging to me today. However, no one's gone out. My previous job as a police officer for Harris County, I was sent out on a call like that. It might be the recovery of a stolen vehicle. So I'm reminding the city to go out and take a look at that. Again, that's Glen Park and McKenzie Way. It's a white car. There's also a white pickup truck parked in front of it, and the 2 of them have been there for over a month. Also, he's asking that code enforcement go out to inspect our community. He hasn't seen them in a while, and again, he's our liaison, so he corresponds with them. I believe you all have a phone number that one calls to report something, and that's what he's been doing. He hasn't gotten a response. I know one of our issues is that our residents tend to leave their trash cans out for 2 or 3 days, and I believe you all would typically address that issue. And that's it for me. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, that concludes public comments.
All right. Thank you. Item number 6.
Mayor, I'm sorry. I just can't move on from public comments until I asked the city attorney if she could address some of the things that were made via comments during public comments relative to the Ethics Commission. Did we have 5 individuals resign from the Ethics Commission?
So you're asking for a clarification
Yes,
as
I want
to
a clarification.
facts and policy?
Yes, I am.
No, the city did not have 5 individuals resign from the Ethics Commission.
Did we have anyone resign, and if so, how many was?
The city of Missouri City had 1 person resign from the Ethics Commission. In December, you all created 4 additional positions to serve as alternates on the Ethics Commission.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Good questions. Thank you. Hey, Joyce, I do have a follow-up questions on that too. When they resign, or anybody resigns from boards and commissions, who do they let know?
So there's no specific policy as to who individuals are required to inform about resignations. However, in practice, individuals let the city secretary's office know.
Okay. So do you agree with the questions, the questions that was answered by the city attorney in conjunction with the commissioners quitting or leaving or anything like that?
I do. There was only one.
There's only one. That was back in December?
Back in December, yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Does these questions come up to the city secretary's office or the city attorney's office and prior to these? Or this is the first time you're hearing them?
So I must say that I did have a conversation with the speaker prior to the meeting to inform him that we only had 1 that resigned and that council had approved 4 alternates and that those alternate positions had not been filled.
So you had already talked about this?
I did.
So it didn't matter what you said. So did you give facts, or was that fact, or you wanted more?
I gave facts, and he thanked me for those facts.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Item number 6 are staff reports. 6A, city manager's report. Angel Jones, city manager.
I have a list of consent items that I'm going to try to hopefully provide an overview to each of you and to the public. Starting with items B and C. Both of these actions would enable contracts for the purchase of traffic control products from 2 contractors. Custom Products Corporation for blank signs used by our sign shop, and Trantex Transportation Products of Texas for the purchase of materials such as sign poles, traffic cones, and paint for striping. Both contracts have a not to exceed amount of $100,000. Item D, this item would authorize the mayor to purchase the necessary land for the Mustang Bayou wastewater treatment plant expansion at an appraised value of about $3.3 million. Item E, this item would authorize a contract with R.G. Miller for the design of Kingsbrook Lane Street Reconstruction Project for an amount not to exceed $283,000. This street is located in District D. Items F through I, these are all information technology items. There are 4 total. The approximate amount is $2.4 million. Each of these items are budgeted, and the contracts would enable us to maintain, replace, and create new lease schedules to manage cost escalation on our copiers, upgrade our telephone system to leverage Cisco's cloud environment, upgrade our citywide backup solution to a cloud-based backup with built-in ransomware protection, and then replace our desktops and laptop computers. These upgrades will allow us, or will put us on track to significantly enhance our operations. Item J, this item authorizes the negotiation and execution of a contract with Stewart and Stevenson to repair our first responder vehicles in an amount not to exceed $90,000. This request will allow us to put our units back in service as soon as possible. Item K is a generous donation of $126,000 from the Missouri City Parks Foundation for Phase 1 of the East Hampton Parkland Development Project. Item 11, this item would authorize the mayor to purchase approximately 1.8 acres of land for the Freedom Tree Park Trail project for about $177,000. Item M, this is the second and final reading authorizing the standards of care for certain elementary age recreation programs operated by the city, and the first reading passed 7-0. And lastly, items N and O, both represent the final readings for the Chapter 14 Building and Code Regulation revisions. These changes support the recently adopted building and fire codes and will enhance and clarify timelines to pull permits, complete construction projects, provide maintenance expectation for construction sites, and streamline the substandard structure hearing process. Lastly, I would just like to make a comment that this is Public Service Recognition Week, and that was noted earlier, but I would like to say to the public, while it's recognized nationally for 1 week out of the year, this mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and City Council and the leadership staff recognizes the value of our public service employees each and every day, and we do so with our actions. So to that extent, I want to also remind the public or notify the public that our city offices will be closed for half a day this Friday for some team building exercises. So with that, it concludes my report.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Boney.
Yes, Mayor. I do want to make a motion to approve the consent agenda. However, I would like to pull item 7L for discussion.
Okay, so that's your motion, Councilmember Murrows. That's your second?
I'm good.
Okay. Do we need to, Crystal, we can go ahead and vote on this?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let me vote.
Ready?
Okay. I didn't go to sleep, did you? And I'm talking about the computer.
Member Emery?
Emery. Right?
The motion carries unanimously to approve consent items A through O, except item L.
All right, Councilmember Boney.
Thank you, Mayor. I guess I had some questions surrounding this item. Of course, I think everybody is eagerly anticipating the groundbreaking and eventual completion of the Freedom Tree Park. I know Councilmember Emery and I have been working on this for a long time, since 2018, and would like to see this to fruition. The questions that I have surrounding the timeline and where we are today and what we're voting on July the 3rd of last year, we authorized via resolution the acquisition through eminent domain or negotiation with the landowner for it landed at $176,812, primarily because an appraisal was received by us from Michael J. Urban for that amount on July 23rd. However, from July 23rd through February the 12th of this year, a gap took place, and that's the date that we signed the special warranty deed, and it was notarized. That's almost 6 months from when we got the appraisal to when we signed the special warranty deed. And then today, it's May the 6th, and that's nearly 3 more months that have surpassed since we're now deciding on the authorizing the payment of $176,000. So that's almost 9 months, roughly. And so I'm just trying to figure out, why did it take so long from the resolution / appraisal to now, as to now we're seeing this, and is this the last thing that we now have to deal with in order for us to move forward? Thank you.
Good evening, Council. So I'll answer that last part first. This is the last thing that we have to deal with, the final hurdle. As for kind of the delay in this, per the law process, I was looking for you. I was like, I don't know if it's a procedure, but there are steps that we have to follow and a certain number of offers that we have to make prior to this coming back to council with that appraisal report to the property owner.
9 months.
Okay, so to answer your question, council member, there was a process to do the eminent domain. We did file a lawsuit. During that lawsuit being filed, we did continue negotiations with the landowner. Those were rather difficult negotiations, and he was out of the country for much of the time. We still were proceeding forward with the acquisition through the eminent domain. Once he was finally served with papers, then his negotiations began in earnest, and we were able to resolve it for the amount of the appraised value.
So was there a process that took place between the signing of the special warranty deed by the owner to now?
The special warranty deed, I don't recall what date is on that deed, right? February the 12th. Okay. So you're asking for what now?
I'm asking, like, from that time frame when it was signed to why is it just now appearing before us on May 6th versus sometime soon?
We had to receive it once it was signed. We did have to receive it, and then I do think it got pushed for at least 2 agendas after it was signed. But I don't recall why
it was on an earlier agenda at least
I don't
once.
recall why it was pushed.
So, Danielle, per you, this is the last hurdle we have to deal with relative to any easements or any issues from the trail and the park itself. Now we can move forward with our plans.
Yes, that is correct. So this is the last hurdle. We went through the Phillips 66, Lake Olympia, and now this property. So this was the last acquisition or easement of the process. We actually did receive the 100% documents yesterday. Actually, it was on a Sunday, yesterday. So they will go through our internal review, which is anticipated to take 2 weeks. And then we will post for bid, and depending on the bid schedule, we would be looking at a groundbreaking late summer.
Late summer.
August.
All right,
Rough August.
All right, thank you. I appreciate you.
All right. So I see a motion for item 7L by Councilmember Brown Marshall, second by Mayor Pro Tem Clauser. Seeing no one else on the queue, let's go ahead and vote.
Member Clauser, Mayor Pro Tem. Thank you. The motion carries unanimously.
All right, thank you. Item 8A, public hearing and related action. 8A, zoning hearing and ordinance. 8A1, which is a public hearing to receive comments for or against a request by LJ Engineering to rezone an approximate 12.49 acre of land from SD, Suburban District, and SUP, a specific use permit to PD, Planned Development District, to allow for office uses, and to the extent such zoning deviates from the future land use and character map of the comprehensive, to provide for an amendment therefore. I want to go ahead and open the public hearing for item 8A1. City Secretary, do we have anyone request to speak?
Yes, sir, we do.
Yes.
Richard R. I'm sorry, I can't read your handwriting.
No problem, and I really don't need to speak unless the council is really asking me questions.
Mr. Mayor, I believe he represents the applicant, and that is the only public comment that we have.
Okay. So does he want to speak?
I'm good. Thank you very much.
All right. All right. No one else?
No, sir.
Okay. So there's no one else. We'll go ahead and close the public hearing for 8A1. Item 8A2.
An ordinance of the City of Missouri City, Texas, changing the zoning classification of an approximate 12.5 acre land from SD Suburban District and subject to specific use permit number 164 to PD Planned Development District number 119, describing said 12.5 acres of land, regulating and restricting the development and use of property within such PD Planned Development District, amending the zoning district map of the City of Missouri City, providing for an amendment to the comprehensive plan, providing for repeal, providing a penalty, providing for severability, and containing other provisions relating to the subject.
Thank you. We have a presentation by Ijima Edwards, planner. Go ahead, ma'am.
Good evening, Mayor, Council.
Good evening.
The applicant has submitted a request to rezone approximately 12.5 acres of land from SD and SUP to a PD to allow for office condo development. The site is located east of Knights Court, and the development will consist of 22 one-story buildings consisting approximately about 98 office condos and approximately 326 parking spaces with 2 areas designated for detention. The product, it will have a similar design to the existing condos at 7070 Knights Court, which is phase 1, depicted in the image. The proposal is also in conformance with the 2017 Comprehensive Plan of Goal 2, which is to have a more varied development throughout the city to change the perception of a bedroom community. It is also in conformance with the future land use plan, which provides a character of suburban commercial character, which provides a designation for residential and commercial development. The applicant is requesting 3 buffer deviations. One consists of 10-foot landscape setback along the major thoroughfare of Knights Court, grass covering only on the southern portion of the property, which is adjacent to the existing levee, and provisions of planting islands and diamonds will be required. Okay. On March 28th, notice was provided to property owners within 250 feet of the subject site. With the subdivision of Stonebrook at Riverstone to the south of it being in the ETJ, notices were not required to be mailed to those property owners. However, on April 5th, to the general public, a posting was provided on the site. On April 10th, the proposal was presented to the Planning and Zoning Commission, and the Zoning Commission provides a positive recommendation. Today, we did receive an additional protest letter with the concern of increased noise and traffic. That concludes my presentation. Please let me know if you have any questions, and the applicant is present as well.
All right, thank you. I think we have some members of council that's on queue, but I placed myself on the queue too. So, City Manager, if I can have someone to address the traffic issue.
Certainly.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you. I just have, Shashi, a few questions regards to, I know we have 2 schools now, Elkins High School, as well as you have Sonal Butcher School that comes out, and then you have the neighborhood, Stonebrook, that comes out. So traffic on this roadway has been an issue, especially when it gets to Highway 6, of making left turn lanes. And I've noticed recently that the double lane or the 2 lanes, now it's marked off as just 1 lane going in and 1 lane coming out. So when we are putting this, and I know that area has exact same, similar offices back here. So when we're putting up here, I'm concerned about, especially school time traffic. There were some concerns of left lanes, and I need to hear from you on that. And there also has been issues that the kids from the school, I'm speaking about Elkins, and their parents have numerously came to us talking about lights. When I say light, I'm talking about street lights, especially in the wintertime, because the winter, it gets darker earlier. So have you or have your office addressed these concerns, or can you speak about this?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. To answer your question, we have addressed some of the concerns. We've added extra street lights. We've done some striping improvements. We've been working with the school in enhancing some safety measures there. The first one being we requested for a mobility bond program with Fort Bend County. There is $1.5 million allocated in the bond program. What that does is you currently have one lane coming out of Night Court making a westbound left turn. It's a shared left turn on the through lane. With this bond program, we will reconstruct that to a full metal pole signals. We will also add an extra left turn lane to move traffic out of Night Court. So that is in the works. We've already initiated the conversations with Precinct 3 office. We are trying to push that aggressively. As far as the new development is concerned, we will look at it in a very detailed. We will have a traffic impact analysis done. The way it's proposing, they're proposing the driveway across the school driveway, which is a good thing because in the future, if we want to build a traffic signal, potentially a traffic signal, that will be an ideal location. I also want to say that there are a number of developments that have come in front of this body on Night Court, one being an apartment that I can recall. An office space is a better one in terms of traffic because the way the traffic volumes will be staggered in the sense that it does not coincide with the peak 7:30 a.m. volume of traffic for the school. So in a nutshell, what I want to say is there is a number of improvements that are being planned. Staff is looking at it very closely in terms of the TIA. We'll be implementing measures that will alleviate any potential traffic hazards, particularly to the school zone.
Sure. Thank you. Just a follow-up question on this. When will you think that $1.5 million bond, when will we be able to construct these things that you're talking about?
We are trying to construct that during the summer break when the school is off, at least build that left turn lane that can provide some kind of relief when the school starts. So we're pushing for that very aggressively. And in fact, we're starting the advertisement to bid because we have the plans ready, and then we can work on the other logistics in terms of getting the reimbursement from Fort Bend County.
Sure. And my last thing to you, Shashi, is the issue that I talked about with the street lights. I didn't hear you say anything about that. And I know
we
that's
have installed some street lights last year based on the request that came in from the school and the PTA parents there. Councilmember Maroulis is very much aware of that. To the extent there is some additional need for street lights, we'll look into it as well.
Okay, will that be, when you say look into it, does that mean are we going to get it or is just a look into it?
Well, we did install the new lights, but I think you asked a question. There is still some darkness there. So in that sense, we'll look into it to see if there is a need for additional lights. To the extent if it's needed, we'll pursue that with Centerpoint.
Okay, all right. One last thing. When this gone through the, thank you.
Yes,
once this gone through the planning and zoning, was there any protest at that time?
Yes, sir. There were protests.
And that was all the same thing about, you said one.
There was one additional that we received today, but the protests were provided. It should be in the in your packets.
Sure. How many, and what was the issues?
Mainly about traffic, maybe some flood control, the concern being across from the school, directly being across from the school, and safety.
Okay. And I know this is a suburban district, so it's going into SUP, which means that you can control it a little bit more on that. So have we, the flooding and all that, is that at this time the discussion, or that's just after this gets approved?
That is the current part of the discussion.
So is there going to be I know that land is very shallow when it comes to it. So the right behind it is Stonebrook.
You're correct, Mayor. A lot of that land is encumbered by floodplain. Just like anything else, there will be mitigation. You see it in the concept plan. They're showing 2 detention ponds.
Okay.
So there will be drainage mitigation as well as what we call floodplain mitigation to address that. And that's consistent with all the developments that have occurred nearby.
Okay. I yield back, recognizing Councilmember Emery.
Yes, I had a question. I think it was last year we had some activity with the school about the stacking process that we wanted to make sure, I think, that there was additional lane space for the stacking of the cars that are coming to drop off their kids or pick them up. And so I guess my question is, will this have any impact on that process that was set up by, I'm not sure if it was just with Elkins or was with, and I'm directing this to Anthony Maroulis. Do you recall what other organizations were involved in that process?
For basic traffic mitigation and control?
Yeah.
I mean, Sashi's team's been all over it. Fort Bend ISD School District's been involved. The PTO's been involved. There's been a lot of stakeholders involved, and I compliment our staff for pulling it together because it is an interesting road.
Yeah.
But it's been a lot of stakeholders.
Okay. Well, then my question is, will what we're being asked to approve here have any impact on what was established by those various entities as far as the being able to set up a stacking process to mitigate the problems that they were having with traffic?
So, Councilmember, what I remember the most recent stacking conversation was Sonal Butcher's elementary school. There was a lot of conversation on that, and they did do a really good job with stacking around that campus. That was the most recent stacking. When they proposed the apartment complex, there was a lot of stacking conversation, but obviously that's off the table now. So I believe Elkins is also working on an internal plan for their, I guess that's the staff parking, right?
Right. So if I may clarify, Councilmember Maroulis is correct. The issue of stacking came when the Sonal Butcher Elementary School development was up there. We built in enough stacking so that the traffic does not spill over into the roadway system. But as far as this development is concerned, we'll have a TIA done. To the extent they have to build improvements to mitigate the traffic, staff will hold the developer accountable to implement those traffic improvements.
Okay.
This is at the zoning case, but as we see the TIA, will be able to give feedback to the developer of what those improvements will need to be.
Okay, thank you.
Recognizing Councilmember Brown Marshall.
Thank you, Mayor. So I see that back in 2004, this was zoned as an SUP, which was going to be set for church and athletic fields. At that time, do you know if a traffic study was done then for that?
You said 2004, council member?
Yes.
No, I sure don't.
You weren't here? No, I'm just teasing. No, I'm just teasing you. Okay, thank you very much for that. I was curious as to why 2 detention areas?
Because I think they need a lot of volume for detention and what we also call floodplain mitigation. So they're trying to find 2 corners of not so unusable space that they can use for the drainage need. That's my best guess.
Okay. And going back to it being at that time zoned for a church and an athletic field, at this time, with us changing the zoning, this does place it back into a tax-bearing, earning type of situation for the city at this time, which does coincide with what the comprehensive plan does state. But I was wondering if maybe Ms. Ajima could kind of comment in regards to the LC1 retail district overlay. What entails with that, please?
What uses?
Yes.
Or what? Yes.
What uses?
Uses in LCO as well as LC1. For example, like art, music, and dance, studio, offices, engineering, architectural, planning services, insurance, uses that you would typically see in those sizes, those size office buildings, as well as beauty salons, services, in that case, health, dressmaking, and so forth, real estate offices.
I got you. And the reason why I was asking about that is in terms of traffic flow. Mm-hmm. So those tend to seem to be more low-level type retail businesses, if you will. Yeah. Is that the same zoning underlay district as in the other one that's right next door to it?
Phase 1, 7070? No, that has an underlying zoning of LC3, which increases the types of uses, actually.
Oh, wow. And you said that the other one is 77 units?
The one on 7070 Knights Court?
Yes.
I'm not sure how many units there are.
I was
currently
wondering which one was the largest. I think we were both kind of curious about that.
I'm not sure of that number. I can get that for you, though.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Recognizing Councilmember Riley.
Thank you. Appreciate the presentation, Najima, and thank you for answering some of the questions. Everybody asked the same questions that I had, and I'm glad that you clarified about the use of this particular retail space. So my other question is just really cut and dry. Based on this particular development, did you see a need, was there a need for a traffic study to be done with all the concerns in this particular development?
We are going to have them do a detailed traffic study. That has been relayed to the developer. And once the zoning moves forward, we will be expecting a traffic study from them.
Okay, thank you.
Recognizing Councilmember Morales.
Najima, going back to the buffers, can you talk to that a little bit more, please? So the 10-foot landscape setback, they want to forego that, or they want to, what are we doing on that line?
They would like to. I'm sorry. They would like to decrease it. The regulations require a 20-foot buffer yard due to the location being along a major thoroughfare, Collector Street. So the applicant is requesting to reduce that.
Okay. Is that consistent with the other project, or is that because this property has its kind of challenges?
I would have to look more into the 7070 project.
Please
Okay.
come to the.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Really, I don't have any other questions. I would say that it's definitely a good use. It's in high demand. That the other ones down the street have done real well. From a traffic count usage utilization, 22 units, probably, small amount of cars. And the people that own the other ones maintain their property very, very well. So those are just some comments around of this particular project. That's it.
Thank you. Recognizing Councilmember Boney.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to start by saying, I'm very pro-business and pro-development, but I'm pro-responsible development, the right development. I reached out to the city attorney back latter part of last month, and I'd asked her, or at least I wanted a better understanding of the details surrounding why developers are not required to do a drainage impact analysis and a traffic impact analysis before rezoning consideration and or decision is made by planning and zoning and or the city council. And her response to me, I asked, was it self-imposed or if this was something that we're following via state law? You want to respond via? Okay, before I just say what she said, I'll let her say it.
Sure. That requirement is self-imposed. It is contained in our infrastructure design manual. Considering some of the recent projects that have come before this body, that is certainly something that I know management and the entire team are looking at in terms of the placement of when those studies occur, that is self-imposed. There are additional restrictions based on state law that occur kind of after the platting process, but this particular item is self-imposed.
Thank you. So considering that this is a self-imposed requirement, I don't know why we continue to be put in a position where we're asking questions about traffic and or potential drainage issues or flooding without having that information provided to us in advance of having to make a tough decision or sometimes tough decision in relates to rezoning. And so until I'm blue in the face, I'm going to keep talking about the need to update our comprehensive plan and how we're going to be moving forward. But, I just think that it puts us in a very, tough position to always pick winners and losers without following a plan and having information and data in front of us so that we can make the right decisions. It's very difficult for me to make a decision on something without knowing if this development is going to negatively impact the community or the area. And then to have to make that rezoning decision and then you find out later potentially that it is going to cause a problem because that's when we require a TIA or a DIA. I just think it's just kind of backwards in putting the cart before the horse. And so with that being said, I want to reiterate, I'm very, very pro-business and pro-development, but I don't want to rush into trying to do stuff just because it can be done. And just because we can doesn't mean we always should. And so I would like for us to kind of consider or reconsider how we move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Since Councilman Barboni brought this up, one of my concerns, City Manager, is one more step further, is we go out there and we zone. You know, just like this applicant come before us and asking for this zone, and we zone it, and there's no guarantee that that's what's going to come up. Meaning, if someone is we're zoning for a whatever it is that we're doing, it could be the fact that they can turn around and sell that because once it's zoned, rightfully so, right? So that's also going back to that point. I think Councilman Barboni talked about, you know, traffic, impact and drainage impact and all of this. But my also other point is that, you know, you come to council, you get a zone, and then that same person who has the zone can turn around and sell it. And then next thing you know, we have very small regulations to put whoever that is in place because we can't even require it. So I would hope that we would have much more discussions about this moving at a retreat. You know, I'm not talking about this project, but I'm just talking about in line with this because, again, to Councilman Barboni's point, it puts all of us in a bind because a person could turn around and sell that, you know, land that is already zoned now, and we have not met the new owner. They have not heard what the community said. They have no understanding. They don't even need to come before any of us because it's already zoned. And we were told this is what's going to come. Basically, sold us on this piece of property or whatever it is. Now at the end of the day, now we're responsible for it. So whether it's the comprehensive plan, whether it's we needed to look at something else, we need to have some discussions around this. So this way that we can, and I get it, right? I heard Jimmy talk about, according to the 2017 comprehensive plan, moving it from a bedroom community. You said that.
Yes, sir.
I caught that. That's a nice pitch line. But for me, I'm the one that's making the decision. To that point, I needed to have more things in strategic to make sure that my vote was voted and that's what's being conducted. And I would ask of your office to further look into this as we are approving these things and to have some sort of consistency or making sure that it is what it is. And I don't know how we can do that. I'm not the attorney and I'm not the city manager, but we wanted to make sure that we protect our citizens, but also protect the vote that we took.
Yeah. And to that point, staff is definitely seeing this as an issue. We recognize it's not a one-size-fits-all because there is a cost element to a TNA. And you're talking about doing it at a point where you haven't even started to look at your project. So we definitely understand the significance of it. I think it's also significant for whoever's going to build the project out to know beforehand if you have it zoning, you purchase land, and then you find out you can't build the project that you thought you were going to build because you can't pass the TNA or the drainage. So we get it, and we will be looking at it and looking at criteria to figure out how we do this in a manner that is going to address the priorities that we have for the city.
Right, and let me just add since Councilmember Boney talked about this. You know, traffic analysis study and drainage study, Councilmember Boney, I know why they won't do it, because it's a lot of money to get it done. It's very expensive to get it done. And once they get it done, if the council votes up or down, and if it's not going to go that way, they're out of the money, right? They're lost whatever the amount. But to me, when you're spending that money, it tells me that you're serious. So you can do all the state law, but that gives me as a representation of the citizen to know that if you're coming in, you're talking about a project, you're going to spend $120,000 to do the traffic study. If you're going to spend, $200,000 to do that, then I know you're bought into what you're trying to do, because nobody's going to put that kind of money knowing that it could be a 4 vote and they're out of their money. And we value those people who's spending their money to understand this is what it is. But in this situation, it doesn't give us, and I'm only talking about this because you brought this up, it doesn't give us a way in or a way out. And I don't think that's fair.
I understand.
All right. Councilmember Brown Marshall.
Okay, thank you. Ijima, do you know if this particular person, did they do a traffic worksheet? Most of the time we will require that they do some type of worksheet. Yes, they did. Shashi, a couple more questions in regards to the worksheet. Or work up, what is it called exactly? And maybe if you could kind of explain to council what that does in lieu of the TIA.
Any major development that comes in, we try to get a feel of what the square footage of the building is. In this case, they're proposing a 110,000 square foot building. So based on an office park, we estimate what the projected traffic would be. In this case, they're saying a daily traffic of about 1,200 traffic, a peak hour traffic of about 140 plus. So this triggers a full-blown TIA, which is what we have requested. And to second what the city manager and other people said, the reason why we do not ask TA up front is, one is the cost, which everybody spoke about. The other is we don't have enough details. So they're coming for the zoning first. We need to know what the real use is, the real square footage is, and the actual plans. Then we will know enough details to generate a TIA. Most often at this case, at the zoning case, there is not enough details for them to generate a TIA. And it also takes time and effort to get a good TIA out.
Okay. So 2 more questions. How often do our TIA worksheets mirror that of an actual TIA? Are we sometimes close or
we are oftentimes close.
We're oftentimes close. And then this question is going to be to Ms. E. Joyce. Ms. E. Joyce, in the event such as this, we choose tonight to vote to zone this, and then the TIA comes back and it says, oh, it's not going to work or whatever. Does that zoning remain? Do we have an opportunity to come in and say, well, if it doesn't fit, then we don't want it?
If the project or the land is zoned, then that zoning would remain. But usually when there's a study, there's an opportunity for staff on the back end to work with applicants in order to craft the project in a way it might be to scale it down or change kind of the parameters of the project to address the issues that were identified in the study.
Right. And I guess that kind of goes back to what my colleagues are saying on tonight. It's almost like we're doing it backwards, because then we end up with a piece of land that's zoned essentially for something that we may or may not get, because oftentimes we're gambling and hoping that we're getting a very good developer, or that we're getting a developer that's going to be what I call thoughtful. And when it does not work out for them, now here we are with a piece of land and we may get a developer that may not be as thoughtful. And so that's kind of the risk that we run. So I would definitely ask to please find ways so that we can shape ourselves to be in a much better position to make these types of decisions. I had a conversation as well with Jennifer earlier in regards to what we could do in order to protect the land that is left. When we go and we zone things like this and then it just sits, just like the last zoning occurred 20 years ago. And right now today, that could very well be a church that's sitting there. We need to find parameters and put in place where they cannot sit on that land that long. That's just too long, because then we're still stuck again. So I encourage us to find a way also to look into that as well. Thank you.
Right. Recognize Councilmember Boney.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to quickly just piggyback on something that Councilmember Maroulis says. I do believe that this is a great project for that location and area, great in theory. And I just don't have enough information to ensure that the flooding and the traffic will be sufficiently handled. I don't like this cart before the horse approach. I would like to propose, if it's the will of my colleagues as well, that, you know, as you're looking at this, that be a requirement, especially with the remaining land that we have, for us considering rezoning. I mean, I don't know that we would want to put our citizens and the stakeholders in the community in a position to kind of have a ta-da, it's not, a good area for this development after the fact and after it's been rezoning. To Mayor Alicat's point, once we make this decision, it's zoned that and anything can go there without our approval at that point. And so I just think we're at a unique place where we really need to start looking again at the comprehensive plan and how we deal with our decision-making with the rest of the land that we have available. And this is not, my comments about this is not mutually exclusive to this project or this developer, but I do believe as a whole, we really owe it to our residents and the community to make sure we're making right decisions with the right information.
Right. So I think, Angel, I think you heard it. It's the same thing, that everybody's worried about. And I know, and, when we say this on city council, if we're truly and really saying that we don't want to be a bedroom community, which means we want to attract businesses. Now, I understand that when we're having these type of dialogues, it scares a business person because they're going to sit there and say that I don't want to do business in Missouri City because they're going to force me to spend X amount of money, not even knowing that they're going to vote for it, right? So I fully understand both sides of the coin. So it's not just one side of the coin. Anybody, if I'm going to invest in this city as a business owner, if you're going to have me do these studies, unless I did everything I could to make sure that this is done right, otherwise I'd lose about $300,000. Just a simple vote by 4 people saying no, right? So I don't know what the fine line is. I don't want to send out the message to our business while we're trying to grow economic development, saying that, council is going to vote against every project that we possibly have. That's not the message. But we need help. I don't know how, because you got state law on my right side, which is you, Joyce, and I have city manager on the left side that tells me no. Then Shashi, you always say no. But I'm just kidding. But, But you got to understand that, right? Put yourselves in our shoes. You got to put yourselves in our shoes based on what we're voting. The decisions that we make today, and I want to thank Councilman Marboni for jumping on this, is going to affect one way or another. And I'm not worried about getting back in the office. It's not politics. It's about doing the right thing. It has nothing to do with fearful of voting, but we need your guidance to tell us what this is going to be. Otherwise, we're fishing in dark. And we want to grow the city. We have our Economic Development Council. We have all of this. It's just so hard because we don't have not that many land left. We have people who are biting interest in Missouri City because the word out there is Missouri City is growing, right? It's a good problem. It's not a bad problem. But where do we get to? So, and I go back and ask the same question. When you have these prep meetings, I don't know what the exact term is, when you all sit down in a conference room and go over this project, is the planning is the public works, is the drainage, is the traffic, are all of you sitting in one room when a project like this come before the city staff and actually having a discussion about this prior to, going to P&Z? Or, because if one of those people are missing from that initial conversation, then there's no answer to it. So I would assume I'm not in any of those meetings, and I know none of my colleagues are in any of those meetings. And we don't need to be in those meetings. I mean, that's staff-driven, and that's staff. But we got to figure out a way to figure this out. And how do we work through this, And, SUP gives me some sort of, protection to say that, there's things that we can control. But otherwise, it is what it is. Anyway, Councilman Morales.
Yeah, I think there were a lot of questions tonight, and I don't know if the developer wants to answer some of those questions. I think it's a fair opportunity for you to come and maybe answer some of those questions around traffic or flooding. If you don't want to, you don't have to, but I wanted you for you to have some.
I'm representing the. Yes, I'll walk over there first.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Richard Rukoff. I'm the civil engineer representing the developer in this case. So, in particular for this project, the primary concern was that it is in the floodplain of the Brazos River, essentially. And so that was the very first thing that we looked at, and make sure that this thing is even feasible considering where it is located. It is adjacent to a levee district, so it's been designed in such a way that it doesn't get higher than the levee district next door, but it's also sufficient in what the requirements are for the Brazos River. Secondary was the traffic, and we are aware that this particular facility does experience some extreme traffic, and it's very unique because it is a school district type of traffic, which is really limited to the morning hours where everyone else is trying to travel at the same time. And then the afternoon is not quite as critical because the evening traffic hasn't really occurred yet. But the morning traffic, we fully understand, is a concern. And with the way the city requirements are, unfortunately, staff is not able to fully engage with us at the same time, because we would love to have kind of taken what they've already done with the development of Knights Court and kind of just seeing how we would integrate fully into this whole thing. But we're unable to do so because the way the process works, we have to get a zoning in place before they can fully engage with us with that particular piece. But we do appreciate the hints, the nuggets that they've provided us that have allowed us to kind of look into it. We did do the worksheet, and we have determined that this probably is one of the lowest type of traffic environments that you can find. Pretty much everything else will have a much larger spike, especially early in the morning. And so that's why we're recommending this particular development. And we think that we have a very good development that's shown it's in the first phase, that has shown how it can work, how it fits into the community. It's still close to the school, so that it kind of shows on how this one will integrate with the rest of the city. And I know that my client would love to start tomorrow. I keep reminding him he's not allowed to start until we've got all of these processes completed. So he would love to start tomorrow, construction.
Is there something more you could give us, maybe not tonight, but near future, around the flooding and the mitigation and the plans that you guys?
So I've actually designed it, and I sent it over to Brazoria Drainage District. Excuse me, this is Fort Bend County. Fort Bend County District for them to review, and they have established on their end. Of course, the city of Missouri City is fully responsible, so they've said, okay, we're okay. It fits in our requirements. The city of Missouri is the final city that will make the final determination, but I have set the finished floors high enough that they're outside the floodplain, and so, but at the same time, this whole thing is not sitting higher than the levee next door.
So, Angel, the pulse that I feel, if I'm wrong, you guys correct me, is that we kind of like this usage as a council, but we're real concerned about drainage. Is there an opportunity for them to work a little closer with Public Works to give us a little bit more comfort that drainage is going to be managed better, I guess we could say, or managed? Joyce, sorry.
No worries. At this point, that is not legally required of the applicant.
Right.
That is certainly something staff hears what you all are asking. That is something that can be reviewed and possibly implemented in the future for other applications. But for this one, the city has to adhere to the rules that are in place at the time of the application. Now, that doesn't stop the applicant from providing information. It sounds like he already has. He could certainly do that, but that would be something that the applicant would do voluntarily, but the city would not be able to require.
That's why we have those big triangles as you see them there. That's why they are so big. as they are, because that is the main concern, really. That's really what started the project is, okay, how do we least impact from a drainage standpoint? And then from there it went, okay, how do we maximize the usage of it so that it can pay for those components that deal with the drainage?
No?
Thank you.
All right. So I just have one, since you came up here.
Sure.
Is it so are you an architect?
I'm a civil engineer.
Civil engineer.
Yes,
so,
sir.
So has the developer built something similar to this before?
This developer?
Yeah.
Yes. We did for phase 1, of course, at 7070 Knights Court. That's the image
That
of
one.
a Google Earth drive-by shooting right there. That shows what it looks like. And he wants to use the exact same materials for this next phase. We also have a few more of those types of facilities. There's a couple in Pearland.
Yeah.
I also have one close to where I live, over the Willowbrook area. So he is developing them across the Houston area.
Sure. So I'll just tell you, I know this land. It's got a lot of creeks that runs through there, and it's very deep.
I understand that, and it is
So
there's a lot of dirt that
you're going to need, trucks and
we
trucks,
are building
trucks
up.
of
Yes,
load.
sir.
So that gets me back to, because I know that several people looked at this land and they walked away from it because of the cost.
I gave him all the costs, and he doesn't want to walk away. He
No,
wants
I
to
got
start
you.
Tomorrow.
But what I'm worried about it is because the way when you look at this land, if you're standing at the curb of the main street and you look in,
Yes, sir.
The water, it runs. There's 5 different ways, different channels that are so deep that it runs all over it. I'm not sure having these 2 triangles is going to hold all that water, because right behind that you have neighborhood.
Those
Because
triangles
you're going to fill.
are larger volume than what the Brazos River would take up if it was in its full flood stage.
Right. Because you're going to, just as much as dirt that you're putting to build it up.
Yes, sir.
And you know what I'm talking about. It takes a lot. So I'm worried about I think you need more than what's shown on the drawing. That's just me. I'm not a civil engineer.
What you have to realize, though, is when the Brazos River brings up its volume, it stops right about here. But we're not going to we're not going to build the building right there. We actually build the building higher than that. That being said, this difference in volume that you have between those two is not taking away from the stage of the Brazos River. So therefore, that is, even though I'm bringing in extra dirt for it, it doesn't take away from the drainage.
Okay.
Okay, so that's...
One more thing.
Yes,
so
sir.
Will it drain towards Knights Court?
No, this whole site is intended to drain towards the existing riverine section over there.
Yeah, Jason, what's that little park that we want to do there? That we want to do the nature park?
With the Heron Track?
Yeah, so it'll drain that way?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Seeing no one else on the queue, let's go ahead and vote. And a motion by Councilmember Morales, seconded by Councilmember Brown Marshall. And seeing no one else on the queue, let's go ahead and vote.
The motion carries 4-3.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 11, ordinances. 10A.
10A, an ordinance of the City of Missouri City, Texas, adopting an update to the basic plan of the Fort Bend County Interjurisdictional Emergency Management Plan, providing for repeal, providing a penalty, and providing for severability.
Shamika.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you. Okay, today we're going to look at the adoption for the 2024 basic plan for the Fort Bend County Emergency Operations Plan. Our last plan that we're currently signed on to is the 2019 plan. This plan lasts 5 years once it is adopted, And we adopted once every 5 years to make sure we're staying in accordance with Texas Government Code 418. On the next slide, I will give you some of the information on why we signed on to the county's plan and the benefits of that. But first, I want to give you some of the bigger updates that will impact Missouri City with the update plan if adopted. Statewide, we are transitioning how we manage emergency operations centers. With Fort Bend County putting that in their basic plan, we will start that transition also to what's called emergency support functions. That's not going to have a major impact on our emergency operations center. It's just going to impact how we manage and the roles that staff, what they manage and what their goals are in the EOC. This plan for an emergency operation plan, it consists of a basic plan and 22 annexes. We're looking at the basic plan tonight. It's a 5-year process to update the entire plan. Because of that, the Fort Bend County is starting their transition, which will make us start our transition also. And it will take a complete 5 years to be completely in ESF, emergency support functions, as that's the time it takes for that whole plan to be updated. The other major update that will impact Missouri City are our EOC levels. Currently, we have 4 EOC activation levels. We will go down to 3, which is following in line with FEMA's recommendations. It has less confusion on what level we are. Currently, our levels are, if we're currently at a level 4, which is normal operations. We have level 3, which is increased readiness. Level 2 is partial activation, and level 1 is full activation. We will transfer from those 4 to a level 1 will continue being a full activation. A level 2 will continue being a partial. And then a level 3 will be normal operations. It will get rid of 2 partial activation levels where we'll either be fully activated partially or we'll be at normal operations. And with us signing on to the county plan, the benefits of that are we will remain in compliance with Texas Government Code 418 that requires all jurisdictions to sign on or adopt an emergency operations plan. It helps with streamlining coordination. Majority of the jurisdictions within Fort Bend County all sign on to the Fort Bend County plan, which means we all have the similar framework in planning how we respond to emergencies and disasters. And it will entitle that we're still in line with everyone else in our county. And also signing on to that plan will be a cost effectiveness to the city as we can lean onto the county and utilize some of their services as a cost benefit to us and a force multiplier for our emergency management program. Any questions?
All right, thank you, Tramika. Appreciate your help. We have a motion by Councilmember Boney, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Clauser. Seeing no one else on the queue, let's go ahead and vote.
The motion carries unanimously.
All right, thank you. Item number 10B.
An ordinance of the City of Missouri City, Texas, amending regulations in PD Planned Development District Number 35, consisting of an 89.25 acre tract of land, describing said 89.25 acre tract of land, regulating and restricting the use, size, height, and density of buildings within such PD Planned Development District, referencing site plans applicable to said district, providing for certain construction according to said plans, providing for an amendment to the comprehensive plan, providing for repeal, providing a penalty, providing for severability, and containing other provisions relating to the subject.
All right, thank you. We have a presentation by Grace. Grace, go ahead.
Hello.
Hello.
Just going to put up a revised site plan for you guys. This item was before you last month, and you had a few questions about traffic and also about the placement of the ADA parking spaces. Okay, so we did speak with the developer about the placement of the handicap parking spaces, and they are placed at the space that allows for the person to have the shortest, safest, and most accessible route to the entrance of the building. If they were to relocate those spaces to any other section of their site plan, they would have to cross a larger distance before they would be able to enter the building. And the placement is in compliance with the federal regulations on where that parking space should be. So that is the answer to that question. The other question was about the point driveway access point that comes off of Sienna Ranch Road. And Sashi, do you want to address the traffic concerns there? I have a few points, but you probably have more details. Okay. So the intersection along Colonial Lakes Drive was brought up and Highway 6, and I did talk about that with the city engineer, Marcus Snell, who's not here this evening, and he did point out that there are a few differences to Colonial Lakes Drive and this area here. One of them is that Colonial Lakes Drive has a median that people can cross. It's an open median, which is why people might mad dash across the way and possibly cause an accident. In this instance, the median is not passable. It's a solid, so that won't be a traffic concern. People can only go one way when they're exiting. The other item is the driveway access point along Colonial Lakes Drive is a lot shorter, so they do have to quickly turn to enter the flow of traffic. This distance from the driveway access point to Sienna Parkway is much longer. Well, it's longer than the one on Colonial Lakes Drive, which will allow for easier ease into the flow of traffic. So those are the two differences between the intersection that you brought up and this intersection.
All right. Thank you.
Those are the points that I have. If you have any other questions, I'll refer them to engineering.
That's good. Thank you. All right. Seeing no one else on the queue, we need a motion and a second. So we have a motion by Councilmember Boney, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Clauser. Seeing no one else on the queue, let's go ahead and vote.
Member Riley? Motion carries unanimously.
All right. Thank you, Grace. Item number 11, our City Council announcements. We'll go ahead and start with our Councilmember Sonia Brown Marshall.
Thank you, Mayor. Ooh, I want to say congratulations again to Anaya Smith. Fly, Eagles, fly. Okay, this will be the only night y'all will see me in this T-shirt. And congratulations to the police department on becoming a certified autism center. And I had an opportunity to attend the police promotions and the oath of office ceremony, and it was really, really good to see Assistant Police Chief Jasden Hurd, Captain Tracy Cox, Lieutenant Adam Santos, and Sergeants Cynthia Aguita, did I say that right? Agueta, and Daniel Monroy take their rightful places amongst their ranks. It was really good. Extremely happy for the Missouri City Green paper shredding event and, of course, for the Quail Valley Garden Club's annual plant sale. I didn't buy any this year, so I can't kill anything this year because I typically kill all my plants. I am thoroughly enjoying the use of Fort Bend Town Center 2. I had an opportunity to visit the Isle this past weekend, and I got an eye exam at America's Best, so that was really, really good. I attended the farewell ceremony for Associate Pastor Reverend Father Joseph Bachara, along with the mayor, and it was an extremely moving ceremony, especially to see such a young man who's going off now to continue his doctoral studies and to continue his priesthood. So it's very, very moving. Attended the State of the City County address by KP George, and of course, National Day of Prayer was phenomenal this year. It really was. The rain did not stop us. I was glad that it was moved to the inside and that we could continue on with that. Lastly, I just want to wish all of the mothers a very happy Mother's Day on this coming Sunday. Thank you.
All right. I'll go ahead and go. I want to say again, congratulations to Anaya Smith and his family. I also I attended a lot of events, and I'm going to yield my time back, but I did want to say a congratulations to my son. Many people know that he is living on the spectrum and thriving on the autism spectrum. He was accepted to Eastern Michigan University and will be majoring in, get his BA in theater arts. In the fall. And so we're all very excited about that. He'll be living independently. So big part of my life, raising him, and I'm excited. And any families out there who are raising children on the spectrum, there is hope. Got to do the work, but there is hope. So I'm excited for my son. And And I just want to say happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, and for those whose mothers have gone on, God bless you, and may you keep your mother's memory alive. And that concludes my comments. Councilmember Riley, you want to go next?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I, too, want to say congratulations to Anaya Smith and his entire family. What a success story. And, of course, we're always Missouri City proud. I, too, am an Eagle, so I definitely understand how he is going to soar. Before, I did a whole lot these last few weeks, but I want to kind of really focus on a few things, saying happy prom month to all of the seniors out there. I love the photos of all the exotic outfits and fancy cars and swag on the tuxedos. Happy graduation for all those that are graduating college coming up. We're praying for you as you take your finals, as I have two that are stressing me out. They're taking their finals this week. Happy Mother's Day to all of our mothers out there within the sound of my voice. As well, I want to draw your attention to two events that are coming up. May 18th is going to be very busy in Missouri City, specifically District A. There is going to be a mental health walk hosted by Aya of Infinity at Hunters Glen Park from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. So if you are interested in getting your steps on, join us out there for the mental health walk. And then there's also going to be a Texas Cops and Communities workshop here at the Missouri City Community Center at 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. This is a good program for a lot of the parents to learn about teens and what they're actually doing in coding and some other things that are going on in partnership with the City of Missouri City and Fort Bend County Sheriff's Office and a host of other vendors as well. I want to say thank you to our fire department that hosted the open house to the new building and fire code. It wasn't a packed house, so it was easy to find a seat in there. But I'm glad that we did have a few contractors and vendors to show up to learn about that. Definitely want to encourage them to put that video out there to showcase what the new changes are and the new codes are and how our vendors and contractors and developers can continue to do business with us. Congratulations to Zash Cafe, a new Indian restaurant that opened up right there on the corridor of Dulles and Cartwright. It was wonderful food. We definitely loved that. Had an opportunity to join Mayor as we presented a proclamation on that day. National Day of Prayer, I attended, of course, for my own city and the city of Stafford. I really felt full of the Holy Ghost that day. So I was on my best behavior that day. So I want to say congratulations to the Missouri City Green on their paper shredding event, the Quail Valley Garden. I did buy some plants, and thank God they are still alive as of today. Congratulations to Lisa Stillwells on her 29 years of service, and thank you to the EPA Regional Environmental Workshop for coming to Missouri City. And that concludes my announcements.
Councilmember Emery.
Thank you. Well, mine's a lot of repeat of what some of the others have said. I did attend the National Day of Prayer, and it was really something that while it was rainy outside, it was bright inside. So there were some good messages that were brought, and it shows that we all can live together, irregardless of what our affiliation or our background, religious background might be. I attended the Quail Valley Garden Club annual plant sale, and they did mention that you didn't buy anything, so their profits are going to be a little bit lighter this year.
Oh, I gave a donation, though.
Sales are slow.
And I also attended the police department promotion. There were, I think, 5 officers that were pinned by some person within their family. It's great to see that we've got that type of movement within our organization, our PDE organization, that shows that we are going to make sure we promote from within. So I think that was really helpful and enlightening. And I attended the Sienna Barbecue Cook-Off, but I'm not going to take away from what I know the mayor is going to talk about, because that's his baby. I mean, but I'll only say one thing. That cook-off, I think they had 43 or 45 teams. It was unbelievable. It appeared like it brought everybody from Siena and some of the surrounding areas into an area where there were a lot of events and things going on. So I give kudos to the two organizers of that program. So with that, that concludes my comments.
Councilmember Boney.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Congrats again to Anais Smith and family on his huge accomplishment. I'm like you, Councilwoman Brown Marshall. I'll be taking this shirt off as quickly as possible. But no, kudos to him, man. It's definitely exciting news to see him and his family, once again have that exciting moment. I attended HGAC annual monthly board meeting, also the Dry Creek Village HOA annual meeting. Also, we had a very important CDAC meeting that we got a lot of the business done for CDAC as far as our CDBG dollars that we're responsible for. Also attended the police promotion ceremony with all my colleagues. It was great to be there to support our police officers. Also attended the Small Business Networking Mixer. Shout out to everybody who provided me a ticket. You know what I'm talking about. Multiple tickets. No. It was great turnout. The business community was out and about, and it seems like some great networking took place. Also attended and shared words on behalf of Missouri City and gave an update on the great work we're doing in the city at the 21st Century Regional District Association Spring Board meeting. Also attended the National Day of Prayer with all my colleagues. Also, Mayor and I attended an NFL draft party celebration for another Missouri City resident who was drafted in the second round, 52nd pick, Adonai Mitchell, and his family. They held a NFL draft party, and we were allowed and asked to come and not only share words, but we gave him a certificate of achievement as well as, Mayor delivered the key to the city to him as well. He had to immediately go to Indianapolis for training camp and rookie training camp, and so he was unable to be with us tonight. However, once he gets back in town, which we hope to be in the summer, he's excited to try to come by and be celebrated and meet all of the council members. My son, Joshua Boney, we celebrated his 23rd birthday since the last council meeting. And lastly, I'm celebrating all month. Yeah, you are. I'm turning 50, half of 100 on the 14th of May. And so that's in 8 days. So feel free to celebrate me all month. Yes, indeed. Taurus season. It's Taurus season. Anyway, happy 50th birthday to your boy. All right, that concludes my comment.
Yeah. Recognizing Councilmember Morelos.
Nobody mentioned the government cheese from Flavor Church. Oh, man, yeah. That prayer session was really, really nice. Tonight was a good night. We recognized clerks. We recognized police, public service. We sent Anais to Philly, the Missouri City way. I want to thank the Parks Foundation for the generous donation towards parks as we continue to focus on amenities in our community. And Mayor, we finally bought a phone system, man. But thank y'all for investing in the phone system. There was a really good article in the Community Impact this week. And it said Missouri City is set to receive funding from HGAC for transportation projects. And here's just a few items. $836,000 for a signal at Township Lane. $1.1 million at Texas Parkway to help with some gravel and concrete on Independence Boulevard. $3.7 million on Trammell Fresno Road to make 2 lanes to 4 lanes from Siena to Highway 6. $1.5 million at Watts Plantation. $9.9 million for Murphy Road, where there's a reconstructing 4 lanes to become 6 lanes. And I say that because there's a lot of hard work that goes into that. There's much needed dollars in much needed areas. But there's a guy that sits on council here by the name of Jeffrey L. Boney that goes to those meetings. And he's in those meetings with some sharks, right? Some other leaders in our community. And he's walked away with a Brinks truck of money sometimes.
You got to give Sashi some love, too.
So between Sashi's staff and Councilmember Boney, I want to say thank you for successfully securing funds for us. I know that I worked with Angel $1 million towards Hunter's Glen Jogging Trail because of your efforts. So I want to publicly thank you and thank Sashi for all the great work you do because we need the money. With that said, I just want to say Happy Mother's Day and go Marshall. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's it.
Anybody? All right. Well, I just want to congratulate Anais Smith. I want to thank Councilmember Maroulis for his help, along with our communications department, our IT, and Gerald for working through this process. Mr. Rohn, everybody putting together to congratulate this young man. A lot of times, there's so many that we missed, but we can't count the ones that we missed. We got to count the ones that we're moving forward. There was a lot of public comments that was made today. I've took note of that. So I would just ask is to be factual when you're making these comments, to be truthful, or if not, if you needed information, get with our city council. If we don't have the answers, we can get those information for you. Get with our city attorney, city manager, city secretary. They can get these informations for you because everything has a transparency to it. And you heard some of the discussions tonight about the challenges that the city council has, especially around zoning. And I just want the people to be understanding that city council is not the ones that own these properties. City council doesn't go and tell anybody to go and buy these properties. City council wants to grow the city, no doubt, but as these projects are coming up, of course, there's community disinterest, there's pushback, there's things like that. But we're not the council, your city council is not the enemy at hand. And someone asked in public comments, we want to hear from you. You have your district council members. They should be available. I am always available and accessible. I know my colleagues are. So we're always in the know to make sure to work with you. But it goes back both ways. Sometimes the return is only when, there's a project coming here, and that's when that community is interested in talking to us. It's not a long, ongoing conversation. It's a very short-winded conversation. And I think the city staff, do a great job of making these announcements and letting people know. We can't go to every door and knock on the door and to let them know. The reader signs, the communications, the social media platforms, all of these things are out there. City council represent the citizens of Missouri City. And I say that, yet we have a task that's ahead of us because we are also representing the people of Missouri City. And sometimes we have to look at things from how do we grow the city to where can we lead the city to the next level. Staff, my opinion, has always, I can only talk about my experience. They've been put through a lot. Councilmember Brown Marshall just recognized this week, National Public Service Week. We put, the public don't see, we put a lot of pressure on these staff with our emails and with questions, and rightfully so, they answer. But we have to understand that staff is also looking out not for others, but for the citizens. Because at the end of the day, citizens is who pays the staff. So let's not forget that when we come up here. And I know emotions are high, things are at high stake, and you feel differently, but let's engage in those conversations. Let's have those conversations. Let's have, even if it means to sit down and have a coffee to talk about these things, because the only reason the 7 of us sit up here is because we live in Missouri City and pay taxes in Missouri City. With that, thank you. Item number, we're going to go ahead at 12A. The City Council is going to go into executive session 551.074 of the Government Texas Code. Thank you.